What is up, everyone? Check it out real quick. So obviously new shirt, but I still got the Wolfman going on. The reason why I'm doing this is try to get a little bit of attention here. But also shout out to my coworker for giving me a whole bunch of shirts because they were tired of seeing me in my the uniform, the clothes that I go to work in and stuff like that. It's like now it's like the shirts are so nice that I don't want to mess these shirts up. When I go to work, I get concrete splashed all over me, and that stuff is really hard to get out. And the last thing I want to do is get concrete splash on something so nice as this. This is a nice shirt. I can't my job gets to be dirty, and but shout out to the coworker for helping me out and everything like that. It's really nice of him. I'm not the kind of person to ask for. I don't really like to ask for things, but if somebody's offering me something, I'm not gonna say no, depending on what it is. In any case, I want to go ahead and address this real quick. Before I talk about this thing that I wanted to talk about how I get a lot of access, well, not access, I get a lot of my news through social media. The big reason why is because I like the idea of how people address these stories, how people address these articles, and how people address these things that they see. And the whole concept is that when you get all of these stories and stuff like that, I rather the story sort of be addressed to me by people that I feel familiar with instead of people that I don't feel familiar with. And the whole concept is that I don't I don't want my news to be presented to me by some rich guy. I want it to be presented to me by some angry drunk sounding nutcase who I know who feels like a real person. And I think that's kind of why, I get a lot of my news from social media instead of trying to actively go on the news networks to see it. Because if I'm going to get my bias, I want my bias to be presented to me by normal people instead of by rich people. Because I don't think rich people are normal. Look at some of these news anchors and tell me that they're normal people. That's all I'm saying. But in any case, though, the story. I talk about a lot of gender stuff on here. I talk about a lot of men and women style the conversations. There's a big conversation about men versus women, and if you already noticed, I tend to kind of go a little bit more. I get a little bit more aggressive and hostile towards men because of the fact that I feel because I am a man, I hold men to a higher standard. So whenever men do anything that's a little messed up, it's I'm on their case a lot more. But if I have to be really 100% with y'all, I both sides the gender discussion a lot. And the big reason why I both sides the gender discussion is because gender, the gender discussion, we both genders, we're all screwed up. We're all messed up. You know what I'm saying? One side doesn't have it worse than the other. We all have it pretty bad. And we tend to forget that because we're always trying to say, actually, no, we have it bad. And that's why it's good enough for us to mess with them. And it's no, that's not the case, which is kind of screwed up. And that's kind of something that I really do feel we need to address as a people. And every so often, I want to just talk about the hardships of what it means to be a guy. Because as a dude, most of the times you're judged by your physical appearance and how much you earn. And because if you don't earn enough or if you don't look good enough, you're getting the worst treatment. And most of the time, you're gonna get the worst treatment by it. You're probably not gonna get the girl that you like, or you probably might not even get the male friends that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because dudes are gonna look at you and be like, "You're ugly and poor. Go away." You know what I'm saying? So it's as a dude, you're judged by these two things, a plethora of other things. You're judged by other things as well, but these are the big two. And it's really easy to forget that men struggle. Men go through things. Men are genuinely upset. And I think the concept is that a lot of men are genuinely mad because they feel like their struggles go unanswered and ignored because well, nobody cares about men. And I mean, it's the sad part is that there's not really a lot of things challenging that. There's not really a lot of things addressing that. And I want to talk about those things. But the reason why I don't talk about those things too often is because I don't want to have the audience. I don't want to have the audience of Andrew Tate fans and Keith and Kevin Samuel fans and those guys popping up and being oh, well, he's right. Women are terrible. Even though I never said anything about women. But the other thing I kind of don't want to, another reason why I don't want to talk about that is because every single time I think about talking about that, I'm reminded that there is another girl who just made an OnlyFans at 18 years old, and dudes just threw money at that. I'm talking, of course, about Lil Tay, right? I don't know who Lil Tay is. I don't understand the concept of Lil Tay. I don't watch Lil Tay's content. I don't know who this person is. I just know that I'm on social media, and this girl is all up and down my feed because apparently she made $1 million in a course of 7 hours, just because she turned 18 on and made an OnlyFans at 18 years old. And I would be this, and I would like let that go. I would 1,000,000% let that go. I would not make a huge deal about that if I didn't see this happen this is like the third time this has happened. The Cash Me Outside girl did it, and I think there was another girl who did it. But the fact of the matter is that there's an entire collection of people, guys specifically, who are on the internet, just like, I can't wait to see you turn 18. And they're throwing money at these, like, so way back in the day, there was something called a jailbait weight. And a jailbait weight was like something that used to get pushed. I think it was in like multiple forms of fiction, because the whole idea was that like there was guys who would wait for, it would be like people waiting for the younger person that they are enamored with to turn into an adult before to be aged to become adult age, so they can do whatever it is that they intend on doing together. Whether it's something, sometimes it could be something as cheeky as like just maybe eating dinner together or something, to something as weird as getting married. And the whole concept just blows my mind, because this was something that they tried to normalize in the 90s. I remember this. This was like, there was a lot of like things in TV shows I was pushing this, and a lot of movies I was pushing this. I remember that there was like a common theme in like a lot of TV shows where it would be like a teacher dating their student, which is kind of like the concept. It would be like, we're just waiting for them. I'm waiting for them to turn, 18, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like the weirdest thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in my brain, I'm just like in my brain while I'm looking at this little Tay girl get these millions of dollars. The thing that's just going through my head, this $1 million within what, 5 hours? I want to say it was 5 hours. Was it 5 hours? I'm gonna say 6. I'm saying 6. I'm gonna say 6. 6 hours. And $1 million in 6 hours. You know what's going on in my head? The first thing that's going on in my head is at least a good $10,000. A good 10,000 of those dollars is from dudes who will literally look at a member of the LGBTQ community and say, I got daughters. I can't afford to have those people around my kids. It's like, bro, that's you. That's you. That's you. That's the thing that's really kind of just sort of upsetting me a little bit. And the sad thing is that like to know that this is happening while there's a president of the United States who also did things with children, or at least did things with the purveyor of child trafficking. It's just crazy to me that this is a thing that is going on. And it's like, it's wild to me that we live in a world nowadays where this is just considered normal now. Because like I say, it's not just Lil Tay. There's a whole bunch of girls who did this stuff and got a whole bunch of money from it. And it's like, and me personally, like obviously I'm pro sex work, okay? So I'm not gonna shame the girls for actually doing this stuff, because it's like, heck, they knew how to make the money to begin with, because of the fact that these weirdo dudes are giving them money to like happy birthday to you, here's $100,000. Why? Another thing, but this taught me another thing. Because to go back to the guys, to go back to like a lot of these dudes probably being like heavily right wing, because a lot of right wingers do tend to sort of like hyper focus on children for the absolute wrong reason imaginable. Well, the left does it too. That doesn't make it okay for you to do it, buddy. The thing that kind of addressed me is that, like, for the longest time when I was growing up, I used to always talk about like social issues. I remember being a kid and like seeing homeless people, and the first thing that went through my mind is, why don't somebody just give them a home to live in for free? As somebody would, and I will always get this question because I was from Louisiana, and right wing, red blood Louisiana, and the first thing somebody would ask is, and how are we going to pay for that? Only to find it's like, and I was a kid, so I never knew how to answer that question. But I'll always say, well, maybe take money away from rich people who's not using it, and make those houses, right? That was how I was when I was a child. And then I realized, like, something in my brain just really kind of just made me realize that we always had the money. We always had the money to do good things to help people. And the people who didn't want that stuff to happen are probably putting their money into some little girl's OnlyFans account, or some concentration camp out in Florida, or a whole bunch of or some billionaire's pockets. And the whole idea is that it's like, we always had the money. We always had the money. There's people who are getting rich in a matter of hours. Because weirdos are going to give them money to say, here's how to welcome to womanhood. I'm going to give you a whole lot of money. I don't know how OnlyFans work. I just assume that they just I'm just going to assume that there's a pot that you just put the money in and they just, like YouTube. I don't know how it works. Like somebody said it was a subscription thing. So the subscription is ultimately like what, $100 a month, which is even crazier. Like there's somebody's dad is spending $100 a month on this girl because she turned 18. And it's not just somebody's dad, it's multiple somebody's fathers. And a lot of those people would ask you, where would they get the money from to do things that would actually help people? Universal health care, we don't have the money for it. Lil Tay's OnlyFans account, well, we got enough money to give her $1 million in the course of 5 hours or 6 hours. Homes for the homeless, we ain't got the money for that. Protecting people who traffic children, all of a sudden you got that kind of money. It's sick. It's really sick. It's really this is what this stuff kind of leads to, and this is the kind of stuff that just really sort of stresses me out. And it's like, you probably might be like, there's going to be some racist who's going to pop up in the comments and be like, oh, typical. Why you have to make it political? It's like, because of the fact that it is. We have predators. We have predators who are still hiding. We have predators who are still hiding behind internet anonymity, who are basically telling you that it's okay to be a predator because the president is a predator. You know the thing that really kind of makes me mad about Donald Trump? You know the thing that really makes me really upset about Donald Trump? It's the fact that in America, child marriage is actually legal in some places. I know, it's weird. Child marriage is actually legal in some places. And Donald Trump, with everything that he has going on with him right now, considering the Epstein list and considering his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, I never know how to say her name, Maxwell. Considering everything that considering everything that we know about what Donald Trump has done to children, you would think that he would say, I'm going to make child marriage illegal nationwide. You would think that he would just do that, just as a means to have a really good distraction away from all the stuff that's going on. To at least let everybody know that despite everything that's going on, he's on the up and up. There's at least some moral clarity there. He could simply just say he is going to outlaw, ban, or just make child marriage illegal. Because child marriage is still legal in some places in the country. And he hasn't done it yet. As a matter of fact, no Republican has done that yet. Y'all gave that girl $1 million in the course of 6 hours for turning 18 on OnlyFans. Every single time I think that men need to get a break once in a while, y'all do stuff like this. This is why I side with the women in the gender war. You nasties. Love and peace, y'all. I'm out. I'm gonna go take this. I'm about to go work out. But y'all, some of y'all, find Jesus. Find Jesus. Find science. Find an older woman. Like, I don't understand. Like, to go further, I know I'm ranting right now, but it's like with all of these beautiful women that are of age, why would y'all go? Like, there's women who are in your age. Like, bro, there's women who are like gorgeous, and they're like in their 50s and 60s, and you're looking at their children. I'm out. I'm out. No, I'm not. I'm going to be calm about this. I'm going to be normal about this. This is just. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this run. All right. Love and peace to every single one of y'all out there. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. We'll talk later. I don't know. I'm really trying to not be frustrated about this. Love and peace.